Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel, and here we are on Saturday. This is Saturday Happenings for May the 27th, 2023. And yeah, it's a late in the afternoon Saturday Happenings because you know what? I got up this morning and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go around and touch up the house, maybe run the vacuum. And I cannot do that. Touching up for me does not work because it always ends up in me making new cleaners and then getting heavy duty into something. And so my little touch-ups end up be like a big old cleaning. So that's what I've been doing. But my house is great, so that feels good. And I did a little bit of work outside in the yard, in the garden yesterday I need to tell you about too. But, so that's why it's a little later than usual. But still, I got all the info. I got my notes. Anyway, so this past week, I had so much fun. It started off on Sunday with picking the meat from the freezer that I was going to use for the week. Now, Linda over at Linda's Pantry, and her link will be in the description. She and I are doing this thing where we are not buying meat for 6 months. We're going to use only the meat that we have in our freezers. And she's got some other cool stuff because she's done some freezer meals that have meat in them. So she's pulling those out, and I was not smart enough to have a bunch of meals. I haven't done any freezer meals in a long time. I did have a pie. I'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, so I've usually been picking like 2 things, and then it just got to be too much. I'm probably only going to have to pick 1 meat from my freezer because my meats, it's just me and Brian, so they tend to do 2 and sometimes 3 meals. So I don't know what I'm going to pick this week. I'll have to see. And you know, there's some things in there that I thought, oh, I'm going to do this, and I haven't used them, and they're maybe a little bit more unusual than an everyday type of thing, so I need to get those kinds of things out of the freezers too. So anyway, Sunday I picked my meat. Tomorrow will be another one that I'm going to pick my meat. But it was fun for me because when people saw last Sunday and they saw me do my freezer pick, was it Sunday? The Sunday before. I have pies in my freezer, and people were like, "What? That's so cool!" So I did a video on my freezer pie on Monday about I did pumpkin pie is what I have in my freezer just because I made a bunch of them, but I've done it with berries. I've made all kinds of different pies. I love pie. Like I am if you give me a choice, it would be pies and cookies before cake. So that's just me. But anyway, so I have pies in my freezer, and I have had all kinds of different pies, but what I have right now, I think I still have 7 pumpkin pies in there, but they're perfect. So they're awesome to use. Anyway, so I've got, oh, here's Snickers. I've got these pies, and I did the pie video, and they're so handy. And in that pie video is a link to an extension office that has all kinds of information about freezing pies. And honestly, one of my favorite things to do is I line a pie dish, like my glass pie dish, and I put the pumpkin or the pie filling in it, and then I freeze that, and then if you do it with parchment paper or even saran wrap, then you can lift it out and just put actually the frozen filling in a bag and store it, and then you can bring that out and pop it in a freshly made pie crust, which is kind of awesome. So there's that. So I did that. I did a little garden tour. That was exciting because I've got my garden going, and I am so excited about this year with my garden. It's like everything I've planted, knock on wood, is doing great. And so I'm pretty pleased with what's happening in my garden. So fun stuff. And I gotta be honest, every time I go and I see a cute little thing that can go in my garden, I like to get them because I like to have all these little cute decorations in my yard. And one of my favorite things is I get those little solar lights from like the dollar store. And I put those around in my garden, and I love it at night when I look out and I can see all the lights in the vegetables and in the strawberries. And that's kind of fun. So I will do a little bit of a video on that, an update, because my radishes, they're already like 1.5 inches tall. So we're really making progress out there. So that was fun. And then Friday, I did my final contribution to the Bean Bonanza collaboration that is put on by Prepper Potpourri. And in the description of this video will be a link to all the channels that participated. That was so cool because there were so many amazing recipes using dried beans. Like hopefully people have dried beans in their food storage because it's an amazing source of protein and stuff, and should things really get bad, you could always rely on your dried beans. But the recipes that you have to make them, sometimes you just don't think of a bunch of good ones. But the Bean Bonanza, there's a bunch of good recipes. I just am super excited about using more beans. And I've been wanting to incorporate more beans, which is the thing going back to the freezer challenge. You know, I have all kinds of food in my pantry. I have food in my freezer, which is a blessing. Like, it's really good. But one piece of meat usually from my freezer will take us through 2 or 3 meals. So I also want to incorporate using food from my pantry and making videos on that too. So I will be doing a lot of mixed kind of videos for recipes from things from my pantry, things from my freezer, stuff like that. But tomorrow, you're going to see my freezer meat pick from the freezer. And I'm not sure what I want to make. And honestly, I don't know. You guys all remember this. I will be 63 next month. I got this when Brian and I got married almost 42 years ago. And this was called the Betty Crocker Recipe Card Library. And this was the coolest thing. They used to do these kinds of things. And what you would do is every month you would get like a group of cards. You would get a divider and then you would get the cards. And look at these. They're so dated. They're so cool though. There's so many really good recipes. But I was putting some other recipe books away and I saw this sitting there and I thought, you know what? I'm going to pull that out and pick some recipes. And then, so that's what I'm going to do today, because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the meat out of my freezer to use some of these cool Betty Crocker recipe card recipes. This is cool though. So like, say I was going to do this. What is this? Beef steak potato scallop. There we go. Oh, I might just get, maybe I'll get steak out for that. But you could set this on your counter and then you could set your little recipe right there so that you could follow your recipe and it was on your counter. And I had this on my counter for ever. Look at that. There's even a little sticker I put on the top of it. And what was I, 21 years old? So this is old. But I'm going to get some recipes out of there. I'm going to use those. So I'm going to have to find some recipes and then I will do my video tomorrow. But I'm not going to tell you the recipe I'm going to do. I'll just get the meat. Part 2. Oh, I'm going to do a casserole for you. And this is a casserole that I make a lot. But it's using some of the chicken from my pantry. The ugly chicken, the home canned chicken. But the cool thing is this kind of brought it back to me, reminded me about this recipe. So it's a super simple one. I actually did it last week with some of the hamburger out of the freezer. I didn't do a video, but now I can do this video and I'll show you what you can do with other meats. But I saw someone on, I think it's TikTok, and she does recipes with like food, like dollar store stuff so that you can make some really good meals really inexpensively. And she had basically the same casserole, but she used something very different than I use. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to try that. That might be good. So I'm going to do a casserole out of with home canned chicken for you this week. And then also on Wednesday is the 31st, and for the freezer no buying meat challenge between Linda and I, we're going to do a drawing every month, and it's going to be like a gift card, but we're going to alternate, and we're not sure who's going to do what month, so you want to make sure that you watch all of the videos, and there's a playlist. I have a playlist for the freezer meals, and you'll want to watch all the videos and comment, because on Wednesday, we will do the first drawing, and what will happen is we'll use the playlist and pick a video from the playlist and then pick a comment from that video. So, and this is just going to keep going on and on and on every single month. So you want to watch all the videos and you want to comment on them. And then at the end of the collaboration, we're going to do a bigger drawing. And I think we were talking about doing like a food saver that we would send out. Because that's an awesome thing to have for your freezer. So be sure and go watch all the videos and be sure and comment. And you need to comment. Don't just put an emoji and don't just say hi. There needs to be like a comment. So, you know, that kind of qualifies because that's fair. Okay, so today what I'm going to do, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed Snickers when he's walking around. He has like a sleeve on his arm because he had this owie, like if this is his left arm right here, it's called a lick granuloma, and it's like an allergy-based thing, but he'll lick that little spot and it'll get raw and then it'll get hard. And so if it's covered, he won't mess with it. But it can't be covered with like a bandage. Like he had to take a bunch of antibiotics and stuff, so I put a little cream on it, but if you put a bandage over it, he gets the bandage. So he has to have a whole sleeve, and then he doesn't bother it. and he's a weird dog in that fact that he kind of likes to wear clothes. Like he likes to wear his little jacket. He likes to wear a bandana. So I came up with a pattern. I had to invent a pattern here to make him, it's kind of like 2 sleeves with just a piece that goes over his back so that he's not covered underneath and stuff. So I've got material, and I'm going to make Snickers a wardrobe of those, because it looks like I took it off of him and within 3 days he was after it again. We've done that 2 or 3 times. So apparently he's going to have to wear a little thing forever. So I'm going to make him some cute ones. So that's what I'm going to work on today. And I don't do as much sewing. Like, I like to do my crafty videos and stuff, and I don't do as much of that in the summer because I'm spending so much time in the garden. Oh, but right now I am making a little tabletop. See, these are little blocks that are going to go together for my, isn't that cute? These are little blocks for machine embroidery. See that? So these are all going to get put together for a table runner, and I'm only making it because I want to enter it in the fair. That's it. So I'm working on that slowly but surely. And then I will probably do a garden update because I got to work in the garden. And I got these little, they're like the little shepherd hooks, but they're short. Like, why would you put them so that the pot only hangs a foot above the ground? I'm going to try to figure a way to attach those to the deck railing outside our living room so that when we're in there, I can hang some bird feeders on there and we can watch the birds. So I'm going to work on that this weekend. And it's Memorial Day weekend, so I hope everyone has a great time. You enjoy yourself, but always, always, always keep in mind why we have Memorial Day, why you get a day off at work, why you get to do all these things, and just, you know, keep that in mind. So when you're out having a good time and enjoying yourself, remember why. So that's all I want to say about that. And whew, I got a busy day. I got to make Snickers some sleeves. And then maybe tomorrow, I think we're going to go to a place and have peel and eat shrimp and clam chowder. We were going to go today, but I told Brian I'm not in the mood because I spent the whole day cleaning the house. And now I got to sew for Snickers. So we'll go tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a little video on that. But there you have it. Saturday, May the 27th, 2023. And as always, thanks for watching. And I'll see you in my next video.